Cool.
Okay, so yeah, as Pam said, we're Ollie and Alicia, and we're going to talk to you today about our journey for the last 3.5 years in property. So, I've just introduced us. As of next Sunday, we've been together 8 years, and yes, our anniversary is April Fool's Day. We've got 2 children. We've got Talia, who's 12, and Rocco, who's 2. So,
Yes, so a little bit about how we got started. We were both doing degrees at the time with the Open Uni, and our parents were so proud that we were going to get good degrees and get good jobs. But we were both sort of fed up at the same time at work, and we came across Thai Group, which is now Legacy.
yeah.
Went to a seminar, fell in love with it, paid £1,000. We were like, oh, what have we done? We spent so much money at the time. Did the 3-day with Tiger, and then we did the masterclass with Progressive, and that was about 4,000 for us. So at this time, her dad was thinking we were getting ripped off, was really against it. Which I guess we did 2 eldest children as well, so we were like, oh, they're bloody not listening again and doing their own things with a bit of a runt of the litter. But we carried on nonetheless, and we took, that sounds a bit cheesy, but we took action. The next day, Monday was when the masterclass finished. Tuesday, we went out straight away, and at this point I was like, where are we going to get the money from? And we were taught, if the deal's right, the money will come. And Alicia was on that mindset, so she dragged me along, and we found...
Yeah, we found this property, which the estate agent kept trying to pass away from us. She was like, oh, you're not interested in this, you're not interested in this. But I knew that this was why it's so dark. But basically, it was a repossessed house. It had no kitchen, no bathroom, so it was unmortgageable. And like I said, the estate agent was like, no, don't look at this one. But I thought, actually, it was really good. It just needed a simple refurb, put the facilities back in, get a mortgage, and it could be fine. But obviously, we needed the cash. So where the hell we were going to find 200,000 plus?
Where was that?
That was Gossip's Green.
Oh, it was in
Yeah. So I was sort of doing all the figures, and I went to my mum to say, can you just check these figures? You know, I think they work. You know, what do you think? My mum's super intelligent. And
numbers person.
Is she here?
No, she's not. But she is really intelligent.
You need to watch the video now.
So I got her to check everything, and she basically then said to me, well, I've got 200 grand, actually I've got more than 200 grand, and this looks really good, I'd like to go in with you on it. Which was a real shock for me, because they bought a property a number of years ago and lost money on it. They bought a retirement flat in East Grinstead and got burnt by it. So added to the fact that they thought we were getting ripped off with the training we did, I genuinely thought they wouldn't be interested in what we were doing. So we then turned it into this, which again, I don't know why the pictures are not as good as they are there. But so this property, when the tenants moved in, I was 38 weeks pregnant with Rocco. And so the day before they moved in, I was here cleaning this place with a massive tummy, and so I was nesting in the wrong house. But that, we sort of cut our teeth on that one. Sorry, I didn't actually say. This has since been remortgaged twice since we bought it, and it now values at, the last mortgage was 290,000, which means that we've got about £14,000 left in that property, which gives us an ROI, which you can't really see, but it is 48.41%. So yeah, really good property with this one.
So that gave our investors the confidence in us. So when we're trying to grow then to the next stage, I don't know if any of you work with a business partner, but it can be challenging at times. If you try and work with your actual partner, who is your business partner, I think this sums it up quite well. Every time you talk to your wife, you should always remind yourself that this conversation will be recorded for training and policy purposes. So it was a challenge. I think at one point we were really not gelling, were we? We were kind of...
No, we couldn't understand how each other worked.
No, so until we found Wealth Dynamics. I don't know if any of you have heard of Wealth Dynamics. It was like a profiling type test, but when we both did this, it almost helps you understand yourself as well as your partner. So I read it and I was like, that's exactly why she does the stuff that she does, and that's why I do the stuff that I do. Yeah. So when you get out of each other's way and you just allow each other to get on with it without getting angry at why they're not doing X and why they are doing Y, it just made life so much easier, didn't it? So yeah, so that was an interesting little few months, wasn't it?
So then we found what is now our 6-bed and our first HMO, which was a 4-bed when we bought it, and it was this lovely little one. This was actually running as an HMO when we bought it, but not a very legitimate one, and actually it had no heating, and we bought this in December, and the tenants had these little portable heaters, and I remember being able to stick my fingers through the windows when they were closed and being able to touch daylight outside. So it was a really illegal, I don't know what you want to call it.
What area?
This was Southgate. Yeah, so we took on quite a lot with this one. Because it was our first HMO, and we decided we wanted to turn it from a 4-bed into a 6-bed, 6-bathroom, we wanted the help of someone who knew what they were doing. So we employed an architect to help us, and actually that was probably the biggest mistake we made on this project, was employing her, because she ended up losing us 8 months on this refurb. So we went initially for permitted development, then to go along the process of however many months that was, to then find out actually we did need to go for planning with everything. So by the time we sort of got through the planning process, the builders actually ended up using my plans that I'd done with everything. So all we needed the architect for was putting things to planning, and the builders then used everything that I provided for them. But what, in hindsight, we now realise is that actually this was like a small development for us. Everything we learnt on this project, we came across party wall agreements, we went through the whole planning process, we did build-over agreements. Actually, all those things are development things that you come across in development. So for our first HMO, we actually did our first development. And the build-over agreements, that was massive for this project, because where our property was, because we were second from another property, our drains are actually public drains as opposed to private drains, because they carry the waste of our neighbours. And rather than running parallel to the house, they ran diagonal, which meant that the furthest point where the permitted development line would have been at 3 metres meant that the foundations had to be either 2.5 metres, which what was the point of doing the extension at that point, or I think it ended up being 3.12 metres. So for 12 centimetres, planning were like, no way, you have to go to planning. They won't give you a centimetre over 3 metres. So we went to full planning, and then we had to obviously do the build-over agreements for all those drains. What else did we do with this one? So we put on solar panels onto this one. Obviously we were then paying for the utilities as it being an HMO. And the solar panels were due, the tariff was going to drop in mid-January. And so we wanted to get the solar panels on at that point. So we were due for the solar panels to go on beginning of January, only to find out that the roof wasn't fit for solar panels. And so we needed to change the whole roof. And so where the hell were we going to change? We didn't have a builder at this point, because obviously with the 8 months that we'd lost our builder. So we then said, where the hell are we going to find builders? Well, it just so happened that the solar panel CEO was having work done on his property at the time. So he said to him, if you want these solar panels, if you want us to buy these solar panels, can we nick your builders? And he said, yeah. So we nicked his builders for a couple of weeks. We got the roof on, we got the solar panels on in time for the tariff, which then meant that our heating system, which is the air source heat pump, which uses electricity, could also be put on. Now, because of the solar panels and us getting cheap electricity, and the fact that both of them, we get a tariff for both of them. So for the air source heat pump, we get £976 tax-free income a year for 7 years. After the 7 years, it will have paid back half the amount that it costs to put that in. But then obviously, because it's not gas, we're then using cheap electricity to run it. So it all kind of connects together. And the solar panels provide £610 tax-free annual income, but that's index linked, so that'll obviously go up, and that's for 25 years. So after 10 years, that'll break even, and then we've got an extra income on top of everything, plus we get cheap electricity with this. So this is the figures. I'll give you a moment to look over it.
Expensive.
Yeah, so as you can see, our refurbing costs with this were £155,400, which sounds high, but 50 grand of that was the 2 extensions, which when we worked out, the extensions allowed us to have an extra room, so that was an ensuite room, and allowed 2 of the other rooms to be en suites. So it ended up meaning that we got between £800 and £900 extra a month income. And so over the course of 5 years, that extension would have been paid back in the extra income that it allowed us to create. So we just had this one revalued and remortgaged, and it valued at £425,000. So that now provides us an ROI of 21.46%.
Got good cash flow, just over £2,000 a month. So
Yeah, yeah, and it rents really well. So I think we worked out our voids on this one were, is it 1.09%, I think. Basically, that void is because we've chosen to have a void because we wanted to wait for someone for a couple of weeks. So basically, it means that a sixth of a month of a year is a void. So this is what it looks like now.
Wow.
So yeah, we like to provide high end, and we put a lot into the infrastructure of our HMOs.
Yeah. So at the time, 2 years ago, we had the buy-to-let managed by a letting agent, and they were okay, but I wasn't 100% happy with them. And when we were trying to find someone to manage our property, no one was doing it, or they kind of were going to charge a lot of money, and it just didn't have the confidence. So I kind of fell into lettings, but I really kind of like it. So we've just built up a little management company, and I've just passed the test of Camaro accredited. We're a member of the Property Ombudsman, we've got client account, and we're being mentored by a guy called John Paul, and he owns Castle Dean Sales and Lettings up north, and he's won the sort of Sunday Times awards and Investor in People awards and stuff like that. And he's actually an Isle board member, so we had a joke the other day saying he's now my boss. So, yeah, but so that's sort of a little business that we've done.
Yeah, so then the next one that we did was a 3-bed mid-terraced house. Now we actually knew the owners with this one. It was a probate sale, and basically our initial strategy with this one was that we were going to do the works between exchange and completion, which they were happy with to do that. It meant that we weren't going to have to pay mortgage payments in that time. And to be honest, the biggest struggle we had with that strategy was convincing the solicitors that what we were doing, that everyone was genuine, no one was trying to pull the wool over anyone's eyes, we trusted each other, and they were long-term family friends. But actually, midway through the refurb, we changed tact and we ended up buying it for cash, because that property that I said my mum and dad had in East Grinstead, they actually managed to sell it after like 10 years. So we came into more money, and so we ended up buying it for cash. One thing I would say, not just for this project, but for every project, is that it really pays dividends to put in the effort at the beginning when you're doing floor plans, when you're doing the planning side of things, because it saves so much time and effort. You know, if you can give your tradesmen detailed plans, I mean, to the centimetre of where you want things, it just means that they know exactly what they're doing. They don't have to second guess what you're wanting, and everyone's really happy. When we gave our plans to the electrician, he couldn't believe his luck. He was like, I've never been given plans this detailed, and he was over the moon. So that's, I would say, is a really good thing to do. So our figures with this one, 210 cash purchase. Now this is the first one we bought after the hike in stamp duty. So our costs are 10 grand as opposed to the other ones are like 4 grand for legal costs and stuff. This one we are mortgaging hopefully next month. So we're hoping for a valuation of 300,000. We're thinking sort of somewhere between 280 and 320 would be plausible in this area. And this one provides us 29.23% return on investment. So this one's in Broadfield, and this is a 5-bed, 4-bathroom property. And it now looks like this. So it's a step up from what it was. So what do we do now?
Yeah, so what do we do now? So if you go to the next pictures, so we sort of do investment services for other people now. If you see here, it's not the same pictures. We literally found an exact replica of our property for a client of ours. So we just did the same thing, just made it look a little different. It's actually a little bit better than ours because we've learned and we've improved. We've got better flooring, we've got LVT flooring and stuff like that. But we've done all our sort of, we've got DB plasterboard in there with acoustic insulation to try and minimise noise. We completely gutted the property, so at one time it was just one floor, staircase, another floor. So it means we can do all the electrics. We've got wide Ethernet cables for internet ports, TV ports. USB plug sockets everywhere. If you look at like the bed, we've got plug sockets here and here. We've sort of reverse engineered. Well, we do this with all our properties, but we reverse engineer it how we want it to be and then go back. So we've sort of done the same sort of high quality spec. So we sort of do this now. And then we've obviously got our management company. So we had nothing to do with this refurb. It was Fiona and Anthony. They've done that all themselves, and we manage this for them, and they've just got an amazing property. So we're attracting clients that and people that have the same ethos as us. And that's what we do now. And then off the back of that, a little hobby, I started doing vlogs and the camera and stuff. So we actually did a HMO conversion vlog for our clients' property. So from day dot, every week we've done a vlog, an update to the end product. So off the back of that, both of my mentors are now asking me to do their videos for their online platform. My friend at Route 1 Fitness, which is a CrossFit boxing Crawley, he's asking me to do videos and stuff like that. So we've almost got a little media company going at the moment.
This is Ollie's baby. He loves it.
It's enjoyable. But yeah, so we do a weekly vlog ourselves, VCC vlog. You can find us here. And that's essentially it. Been in it 3 years. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for letting us speak.
Thank you. That was really brilliant. And you've done so well, and very interesting how you've, done all of that.